In the small, quiet town of Skidmore, Missouri, there was one name that made everyone's blood run cold: Ken Rex McElroy. He wasn't just a resident. He was the town's reigning nightmare. This was a man who believed he was above the law, and for a terrifyingly long time, he was right. McElroy was the textbook definition of a bully, but with a much deadlier edge. He stole, he threatened, he assaulted, and he even shot people. Yet he always, somehow, walked away a free man. How? His methods were brutally effective. Witnesses would mysteriously develop amnesia. Jurors would have a sudden change of heart. Even the local sheriff seemed powerless against him. McElroy had a toxic cocktail of money, a terrifying reputation, and a shotgun that was his constant companion, always within arm's reach in his truck. He'd cruise through Skidmore, his stare a silent, chilling promise of violence to anyone who dared to look at him the wrong way. In one of his most brazen acts, he shot an elderly grocer, Ernest Bo Bowenkamp, in the neck over a piece of candy his daughter allegedly stole. And what happened? He walked out on bail, right back into the town he terrorized. The people of Skidmore were living in a cage of fear, and McElroy held the key. They felt completely trapped and utterly helpless. But then, on a hot summer morning, July 10, 1981, something shifted. The years of simmering fear finally boiled over into a tidal wave of fury. McElroy, arrogant as ever, drove into town as if he owned the very streets. He parked his pickup truck right outside the local D&G tavern, his rifle loaded and ready. He strolled inside for a drink, a smirk on his face, practically daring anyone to challenge him. This time, however, was different. The town was done being afraid. While McElroy was inside, a crowd began to gather outside. It wasn't a mob of faceless strangers. It was the heart of the community. Farmers, mothers, local business owners, every single person who had been pushed to their breaking point by years of his tyranny. When McElroy finally emerged from the tavern with his wife, Trina, and climbed back into his truck, the morning calm was shattered by the sound of gunfire. Not one shot, but a volley. The truck's windows exploded. The tires burst. Ken Rex McElroy, the man who seemed invincible, slumped over the steering wheel, dead before his engine even had a chance to cool down. And what followed was perhaps even more astonishing than the act itself. Silence. No one dialed 911. No one screamed and ran. No one confessed. When investigators arrived, they were met with a wall of silence. Dozens, maybe even hundreds of potential witnesses all claimed the same thing. I didn't see a thing. To this very day, not a single person has ever been charged with the murder of Ken Rex McElroy. Some call it an act of righteous small-town justice. Others condemn it as a cold-blooded collective murder. But whatever you call it, one thing is certain. On that fateful day in Skidmore, Missouri, fear itself died on Main Street. The man who thought no one could ever touch him was ultimately brought down by everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into incredible true stories. See you in the next one.